Hello everyone, this is Shadow Dragon from the DCUO community. A while back I did a video on creating the Chinese Superman style using DCUO as a palette. So I wanted to follow up on that and go into two of the supporting cast members, Wonder-Woman and Batman. Now the base is very similar to the Kenan Superman. The core of it is basically the angled flex suit style. So let me go over Batman first because he's more similar. He's actually almost the same exact parts except for, the cowl and the cape, the parts that make him Batman. So starting at the top, that is the Dark Knight cowl that you get from the marketplace. And just to widen up the eyes a little bit, because the Chinese version of Batman has like larger eyes, I used the bug goggles for the face style. And you could optionally close up the the mouth area if you have like one of the ventilators, and then you set the skin to black. Because the earlier drawings had the face covered, but then I think later on in the comics they opened up the face so that it looked like the regular Batman. Going down to the chest, as I mentioned before, it is angled flex suit as the base style. And you can pick that up from the T2 Flash Duo. Drops pretty commonly, and I think after like 1 or 2 weeks you should have like the head, chest, and legs. The legs to match are also angled flex suit, but they're colored like a little bit differently. Because by default you would see that the dark blue continue into the legs, but to make it look more like the suits as they were drawn in the comics, I had to change like the main part of the legs to the light blue. The shoulders are New Genesis, and that's because they have a pattern that continues from the angled flex suit's gold to like the side trim. All the characters have like the stars from the Chinese flag on the shoulders, so there's nothing like that in DCUO, but the New Genesis shoulders just happens to have like some kind of pattern that takes the place of the stars. So I think it's a good alternative. The emblem is the Batman emblem from the BVS set that was discontinued. So unfortunately, if you weren't able to hop on that, you would have to use something else. I've seen like the various bird symbols used. You could use the Amazon eagle as well. The hands are contemporary tech. And in the comics, they're wearing bracers that kind of look like this. So this is the closest style. But there are very few bracer styles at the moment in DCUO. Contemporary tech is actually exactly the same except for the part that covers the hands. For the waist, this is just Daring Vigilante, the Batman belt. In the comic books, they're not wearing a waist, but they just have like a yellow stripe there. But if I take out the belt, there's just a weird seam because of the way I colored the angled flex suit for the top and the bottom. So I just put the Batman belt. The feet are Stalwart Defender. That's the Superman boots. Now, in the comics, there's a yellow strip at the top and going into a V pattern. Now, there is a closer one, but this character isn't high enough to have it. I would say the closest one is called Shepherd of Adar. That is the Blue Lantern set, and I believe it's either upper T6 or lower T7, but it's the higher set that's in the Mogo vendor. And the cape, of course, is Daring Vigilante, one of the Batman capes. Now for the Chinese version of Wonder Woman, I had to make a lot of substitutions because we really don't have the styles in here. The most important thing is you want the ninja braid as the hairstyle, and you could just get that from the hairstylist in the aquacultural area of the Watchtower. Okay, so I'm actually on the Wonder Woman character, so we can actually take a look. So the head, it's just a plain headband in the comic books. So the plainest headband we have is really just Noble Warrior, set to one color, the light green. Moving down the shoulders. I don't have the New Genesis ones on this character, but it would be New Genesis just to match both Batman and Superman. I just substituted it with Vengeful Surgeon, just because it has that edge that continues from the chest. But New Genesis is definitely the better choice because it actually connects that line and then has that symbol to take the place of the stars. For the emblem, it's just the Wonder Woman emblem, the comic book version, and this was awarded during, I think, both anniversaries, because I think we got it once last year and then they did it again this year with a promo code. For the hands, I couldn't use contemporary tech though, because it's one of those styles that differs across genders. So the female contemporary tech looks completely different than the male one. So instead I'm using the Sinestro gloves. The thing about the Sinestro ones is it's just one color. It doesn't allow you to have like one color for the bracers and then the stripes is another color. So I just went with that and set it to gold. The waist, just like the other characters, she's not wearing a belt in the comic books. It's just a gold stripe. With the waist, you have a couple of options. You could go with the Wonder Girl belt, or I'm using the whip belt to signify like her wearing the lasso around instead. Now the other thing I ran out of options with was the Wonder Woman lasso. The Chinese Wonder Woman in the comics, she has a pink lasso, but I already used up 4 colors, and we only have 4 colors in the game because I needed the 2 greens, the yellow and the black, so I couldn't set another color for pink. The feet are also, you could use Stalwart Defender. I actually chose Supergirl because they're a little bit slimmer and they kind of have that V shape at the top. But again, if you have a higher level character, you could go with Shepherd of Adara, which allows you to have that gold V at the top. The chest is angled flex suit. And for the legs, it's metalhead. Now that's the closest skirt we have. There aren't too many skirt options. But in shape, metalhead is a good match. The comic book one actually matches like the top chest area, where it's 2 colors and then there's like a paneling with the yellow striping. But there's nothing like that in DCUO, so metalhead is the closest skirt. There's nothing for the back. I just put the Kabuki backpack with the panda. But you could also use the Wonder Woman shield if you're T6 and have that raid style. On the hero side, there's a Wonder Woman shield. But yeah, that's pretty much it. They're mostly similar because it's based on the angled flex suit, but there had to be a couple of changes for a female because of the differences in the suit and the styles in DCUO. But here's a good 360 look at both styles. So those are the two supporting cast members of the Chinese Superman books, completing the Chinese version of the Trinity. Alright, until the next video, thanks for watching.